Jake Martinez had fixed everything from broken coffee machines to massive space stations.
Wow.
But he'd never been asked to repair alien technology before. Standing in the briefing room of Earth's orbital command, he stared at the holographic image of a strange, twisted structure floating in the void of space. "This is Outpost Zeta-7, Commander Hayes explained, her voice sharp and urgent. "The aliens built it 3 years ago as part of our peace treaty. It's been offline for 2 weeks and they've concerned." Jake raised an eyebrow. "Concerned? That's not like the Kaleri. They usually just fix things themselves." "That's the problem," Hayes said, leaning forward. "They won't go near it. They say it's singing wrong sounds and refuse to explain what that means. You're our best engineer, Jake. We need you to go there. Figure out what's broken and fix it before this becomes a diplomatic disaster." The image rotated slowly, showing the outpost's organic curves and strange coral-like growths. Something about it made Jake's skin crawl, but he couldn't say why. "When do I leave?" he asked. "In 6 hours?" And Jake, Commander Hayes' expression grew serious. The alien seemed ... scared. I've never seen them scared before. As Jake walked to his quarters to pack, one thought kept echoing in his mind. What could possibly frighten beings who had mastered faster-than-light travel and could reshape matter with their thoughts? He was about to find out first contact with fear. The shuttle Hermes dropped Jake off at the Outpost's docking bay 3 days later. The moment he stepped inside, he knew something was terribly wrong. The walls, which should have glowed with the Kaleri's signature blue-green light, were dark. But worse than the darkness was the sound. A low, rhythmic humming filled the air, almost like breathing. But it wasn't quite right, like a song played slightly off-key, or a heartbeat with an irregular rhythm. "Control, this is Jake. I'm inside the Outpost," he spoke into his COM device. "The power seems to be out, but there's some kind of music playing." Static crackled back. "Copy that, Jake. Can you locate the main power core?" Jake pulled out his scanner and followed its directions through the winding corridors. The Kaleri built everything to look like living things, their hallways curved like blood vessels. Their rooms bulged out like organs. But this outpost felt different. The walls seemed to pulse slightly, and the humming grew louder as he moved deeper inside. Then he found the first body. It was a Kaleri technician. It's curled up on the floor in what looked like a peaceful sleep. But when Jake knelt down to check for life signs, his blood ran cold. The alien's skin had changed color from its normal purple-blue to a sickly yellow-green, and strange markings covered its arm symbols that seemed to shift and move when he wasn't looking directly at them. "Control. We have a problem," Jake whispered into his COM. "I found a Kaleri, but it's changed somehow." The static got worse. "Jake, transmission. Breaking up. Check. Power core. ... The communication died completely, leaving Jake alone with the humming and the body. As he stood up, he noticed something that made his hands shake: the markings on the dead. Kaleri's arms matched the patterns now spreading across the outpost's walls. Whatever was wrong with this place, it was getting worse. The discovery Jake's hands trembled as he sealed his helmet and checked his air supply. The markings were everywhere, now crawling across the walls like living tattoos, pulsing in rhythm with that awful humming. He'd found 3 more bodies, all Kaleri, all with the same peaceful expression and strange symbols covering their skin. The power core was 2 levels down, and each step felt like walking deeper into the belly of some massive creature. His scanner kept giving him impossible readings and energy signatures that made no sense. Gravitational fields that shouldn't exist, and life signs that seemed to come from the walls themselves. When he finally reached the power core room, Jake stopped dead in his tracks. The core wasn't broken. It was changed. What should have been a simple fusion reactor had become something else entirely. Crystalline growths sprouted from its surface, and the entire structure pulsed with an eerie organic light. But most disturbing of all were the dozens of cables and conduits that had grown out of the machine like vines, spreading throughout the room and disappearing into holes they had somehow carved in the walls. "This isn't Kaleri technology," Jake whispered to himself as he approached the transformed core. His scanner went crazy. The readings were off the charts, synergy levels that should have torn the outpost apart, but somehow everything was stable. More than stable. It was alive. Then Jake saw the inscription carved into the crystal growths. It was in English. "Thank you for the bodies. The network grows." Phase 2 begins soon. Jake stumbled backward, his mind reeling. How could something alien know English? And what was Phase 2? As if responding to his thoughts, the humming changed pitch, becoming almost musical, almost ... happy. That's when Jake realized the horrible truth. This wasn't an alien outpost anymore. It was a trap. And he had just walked right into it. Behind him, he heard footsteps. Slow, shuffling footsteps. Jake turned around and saw the 4 dead Kalari standing in the doorway. Their eyes now glowing with the same light as the corrupted power core. They were smiling. The network's plan Jake's training kicked in as the reanimated Kalari moved toward him with jerky, puppet-like motions. He grabbed his plasma cutter and backed toward the power core, his mind racing. The dead aliens weren't attacking. They were hurting him, forcing him deeper into the room where the crystalline growths were thickest. "Stay back," Jake shouted, raising his tool as a weapon. But the Kalari just tilted their heads in unison, like birds studying an interesting insect. Then one of them spoke, but not with its mouth. The words came from everywhere at once, from the walls, from the corrupted power core, from the very air around him. Jake Martinez, age 34, engineer, divorced, no children, perfect. "How do you know my name?" Jake demanded, but even as he asked, he was studying the crystal growths. They weren't random, they formed patterns, circuits, almost like a computer network made of living rock. "We know everything the outpost learned during your approach. We are the network. We have been waiting so long for humans to join us." More footsteps echoed from the corridor. Jake glanced back and saw 3 human figures in engineering suits walking toward the room. But their movements were wrong, just like the Kalari in their faces. Their faces were covered in the same shifting symbols. The missing repair crews, Jake breathed. The 3 engineers who had disappeared near Jupiter 6 months ago. Everyone thought they were dead, not dead. Improved. They helped us learn about human technology, human networks, human weaknesses. Soon, all of Earth's systems will sing our song. Jake's blood turned to ice. The outpost wasn't just a trap. It was a testing ground. The network had been using it to study both Kalari and human technology, learning how to infiltrate their systems. And now, they were ready to spread. But Jake noticed something important. The crystal growths were concentrated around the power core, and they pulsed in sync with the humming. If the core was the heart of this thing, maybe ... You understand now. Join us willingly, and the integration will be painless. Your knowledge will live forever in the network. "I've got a better idea," Jake said, adjusting the settings on his plasma cutter to maximum output. "How about I give you a really bad day instead?" The reanimated figures lunged forward as Jake dove toward the power core, but he was already moving. His plasma cutter, blazing to life, the human factor Jake's plasma cutter, sliced through the first crystal growth like butter. And the entire outpost shuddered. The humming became a shriek of rage and pain as sparks flew from the damaged network nodes. The reanimated figures stumbled, their coordination failing as part of their controlling system went offline. "You cannot stop us. We are in every system now. Your ships, your stations, your home world." "Maybe," Jake grunted, cutting through another cluster of crystals. "But you made one mistake. You don't understand humans at all." The network's voice became puzzled. "We studied your species. We know your weaknesses, your need for connection, your fear of death, your desire for purpose." Jake laughed grimly as he worked, dodging the clumsy attacks of the controlled bodies. "Yeah, you got that part right. But you missed the most important thing about humans." He sliced through a major conduit, and half the lights in the room went dark. "We're really, really good at breaking things. This will not stop the integration. Our signal is already spreading through your communication networks." "Wrong again," Jake said, pulling out a small device from his toolkit. It was an EMP grenade knot, standard equipment, but Jake had learned to always carry backup plans. You see, while you were busy studying human psychology, you forgot to study human paranoia. He activated the grenade and tossed it directly into the heart of the crystal network. What have you done? Something every good engineer learns on day one, Jake replied, diving behind a support pillar. When all else fails, turn it off and turn it back on again. The EMP blast tore through the outpost like a lightning bolt, frying every piece of electronics and crystal circuitry in its path. The humming cut off instantly, replaced by blessed silence. The reanimated figures collapsed like marionettes with cut strings, finally at peace. Asterisk. But Jake wasn't done. He knew the network might have backup systems, hidden nodes, ways to recover. So he did what humans do best. He improvised. Using his remaining tools, he rigged the power core to overload. Not enough to destroy the outpost, but enough to fry anything the network might have left behind. As the core began its controlled meltdown, Jake made his way back to his shuttle, carefully stepping over the now truly dead bodies of the network's victims. His comm system crackled back to life as the interference cleared. Jake, are you there? We lost contact. I'm here, Control, Jake replied, exhaustion heavy in his voice. The outpost is ... repaired. The Kaleri can come collect their people now. What happened up there? Jake looked back at the outpost as his shuttle pulled away, watching the lights flicker and die as his sabotage took effect. In a few hours, it would be nothing but a dead shell floating in space, no trace of the network. No evidence of what had almost happened, just a software problem, Jake said. Turns out the best way to fix alien technology is the same as fixing human technology and plug it. Wait 10 seconds, and plug it back in. As Earth grew larger in his viewport, Jake allowed himself a small smile. The network had been right about one thing: humans were good at connecting with others, at forming networks and sharing information. But they had missed the other side of that coin. Humans were also very good at protecting those networks from things that didn't belong. And sometimes, the best way to save a system was to burn it down and start over. The outpost went dark behind him, taking its secrets to the grave. Earth was safe, the Kaleri Alliance was secure, and somewhere in the depths of space, the network signal faded to nothing but cosmic background noise. Jake. Martinez had done what he did best. He had fixed the problem, even if his methods were a little unorthodox.